open. So one pickup here for 4 Angry Men and another pickup at least for the likes of Furious Gaming over towards Rejects. So a few eliminations, a few trades back and forth, but generally we're still seeing the teams kind of just getting into their relative positions. I mean, Besiktas, yes, they gave up that bootcamp, era, but as we can see, Sun HP now split up, keeping an eye out on the Xavier. Oh, and Peace, as I mentioned it, they were very close to bootcamp. They had to take a rotation out to try and join the rest of their team. They're over towards Camp Alpha, and now they're gone.
A lot of split drop fighting right now. Fierce Gaming ended up taking down another player of the Rejects, so Rejects now down to 2. Besiktas improvising a new drop, a new split, do get themselves caught against the Xavier and potentially even the likes of Falcon. They're doing like 2 on the northeast of the bridge on the north side and then 2 west of the bridge. So it's a good split if they could get away with it, but it extends a little bit too much into the Xavier's territory, and they're not going to be happy about that. And then with Rejects, they're doing a split, south of boot camp. They drop in the trifecta area, that bridge compound crossing. Then they drop south of boot camp, and then a little bit southeast of boot camp. Problem is, Furious Gaming, they do a wide quarry split. They do 2 players, like, quarry-ish area, and then 2 further west of quarry. And those 2 players, ended up conflicting with the 2 of Rejects. So that's how we're getting all of these little eliminations coming across the board. And Rejects, another player knocked. Rejects down to 1. Yesterday, they had polarizing performances too. I think yesterday they had one really great game. I think a chicken dinner even, and then nowhere to be seen for the rest of the matches. Today, they get a huge chicken. Now they're about to be the first team eliminated.
I'm getting some deja vu. We're getting crazy zones. We're getting Regis with some polarizing performances.
Yeah.
It's all coming down to the same pattern here.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, Justice, well, rotate, leave the situation, go hide in the grasses. I mean, there's really no option. And unfortunately, we talk about the time in and time out. We've had a lot of teams going for those fantastic placement points, and that's great. Don't get me wrong, that is fantastic, the fact that they're getting up into those higher placements, but you need those foundational points. You need those eliminations to back that up. I mean, at a stage like PMGC, one or the other is not going to cut it. We need both. We need full throttle running up that overall leaderboard. So it hurts to see this happen for Rejects, but it is Sandhawk. We know there's a little bit of craziness. Rejects had that interesting engagement with Furious Gaming, and then just from there on, unfortunately, running into team after team. So we're not really seeing a single team stepping up in terms of the elimination points. It's been relatively, well spread across at least the eliminations from Rejects. So wait and see who's going to be that first team to step on up. Some rotations now needing to come through, as well as we can see the likes of Game Lords right alongside Train to Kill and 4 Angry Men moving on in from that northeastern side. Do you think they're going to be all right? I do see Nongshim Red Force as a straight shot right ahead of 4 Angry Men, and they're kind of sticking around that outskirt, almost as if they're waiting for a team to make that rotation.
It's going to come down to just the next shift, I think. I think both teams aren't going to even bother really breaking into the first circle. They're going to be rotating towards that way, but off the next shift is going to determine which way they swing. Something interesting I want to bring up in comparison from week 2, the group of death, and this week is Stalwarts. Godlike Stalwarts actually very similar performance like the likes of Rejects. They were polarizing too. I remember day one we were talking about, oh, they're doing okay. They were like 5th or something like that. The next day, nowhere to be seen. Very polarizing performances. I'm pretty sure Seven on the desk, if he's listening, he could agree because we were both talking about it. They would go up and then they would go down extremely hard and then nowhere to be seen. They lose players early on. They lose one. They lose 2. Go down to 2-man. First team down to 2. Just like the Rejects and, well, godlike Stalwarts ended up being the first place team overall in the group of death. I'm not saying, you know, the Rejects team had the similar caliber or experience to pull off something like that, but hey, just, you never know. It happened to godlike Stalwarts, so yeah, up in the air.
Opportunities always there. We know PubG Mobile and the likes of RNG is always going to just bring in some interesting performances. I mean, speaking of those interesting performances, Train to Kill now down to 2 as Legend's been knocked, and now that recovery has to happen here. A few rotations means that IHC did at least pick up one of the members there. Train to Kill now clapping back on the likes of Game Lords who made that late rotation, and Train to Kill has been delayed as well. So now we are seeing a little bit of an opportunity as IHC fight GK Esports. Almost an immediate elimination for Gaithan. Satan down to a sliver of HP.
Yeah, I think that nade's gonna... Yeah, ooh. Actually shot by a different team there. Alex trying to go for the confirmation as fast as he can. He knew that was... Oh, he got it! Alex jumping over the car. Yeah, Alex jumping over the car with the DBS. He got it. That's that killer instinct that I'm talking about, right? He just knows. He hears the shots coming in from the other side. He knows that knock just went down. He's like, we want this point. Instantly brings out the DVS and runs it and guns it and gets that 1 point. 1 point can make a crucial difference here.
Absolutely, just running in with that DBS action and running in with the vehicles. It is Genesis Dogma Gids up here against Tem Entertainment, and now Tem Entertainment, at least the duo of Tem Entertainment, need to step it on up. We have a 1-2 split, at least for the time being, as Baby steps on out to try and delay Genesis Dogma, but Geek Fam doing what Geek Fam do best. The third parties are here.
Dang, Geek Fam was just getting into a fight with IHC's fight earlier with the other team that rolled on in. What team was that? It was GK. GK rolled on in down to 1 player. Now Genesis Dogma here. Oh, that's Tem Entertainment taken out, actually. Tem Entertainment was a team defending in Genesis Dogma in full force. That's the most aggressive I've seen Genesis Dogma. It works out for them, at least securing that compound. But Geek's going to have something different to say about that. It's not Geek that picks up the point, though. It's actually IHC from over out top that picks up that one.
No, these third parties are just heating on up. Genesis Dogma losing
5
another player
already.
Oof. It is disgusting, but it is fantastic to pick up these amount of points right off the bat. IHC once again stepping up. I mean, we talked about that change of roster. Once again, another change of roster up into the first few games of today, and it seems like IHC have found their groove, at least until Yuhai has anything to say about it.
So many different angles being exposed up there. Geek Fam playing in the ruins area, very split up. This is what playing aggressive looks like when you have 4 players alive and you have the zone and you're safe. We saw game number 1, I think it was Game Lord. I think Seven was saying, I want to see them play more aggressive. They had like barely any eliminations. Sure, they had the zone. They were safe. They could have sat back. Geek Fam, they have the zone. They have 4. They could also sit back, but they're so far spread out on ruins that they're able to third party 2 to 3 fights to pick up scrap points whenever possible. Next zone shifts, it does go up north right into the heart of ruins. It could end around there. It could even go up a little bit to the northeast, where the reject player is sitting in a shack, I believe. The last one up for the rejects. Maybe he could squeeze out some placement points if he gets circle blessed long enough.
It's going to be that question that has to come through here. And I like that, just the aggression that we're seeing once again. Geek Fam, one of those teams that we've said have been so confident, those teams that have not been afraid of taking the engagement. So it's good to see the likes of Genesis Dogma also picking up that pacing a little bit. But we have to see that consistency follow through. We saw with Geek Fam, I mean, in the first couple of games, we didn't have a single movement on our top three. That last game, our top three didn't make a single movement on the overall leaderboard. Now it is an opportunity to climb back in. You can't give any of these teams space to work, or they will close that gap up against you.
Nongshim Red Force here, coming in with
hello. To your right. Hello?
1v2. RC could do this. Justice, he's got the DBS. He gets another one. The third player, though, from out on top will get the elimination. Good try by the Rejects team. FaZe Ventores, though. Spot. Oh. Wait. Did Dooms accidentally throw a Molotov instead of a smoke?
I don't know if that was FaZe, maybe.
No, it showed...
I think it was Dooms.
Yeah, it showed Dooms Molotov.
Oh no. Oh no. I mean, Longsham Red Force just off of the back of a sub as well. I mean, they dropped Satan, brought in the QX. This is not the impact that you were looking for.
Yeah, and also it's just... You mollied your down teammate, which you could have revived, and get back up to 3 and near the center. Man, Nongshim Red Force, it just seems like full send rotation straight into the hearts. Well, not the heart of ruins, but on the outskirts of ruins. One player will go down. Last player in desperately. Give him some cover. Give him some reprieve. Too many shots from two.
But as if that was enough for Game Lord, Geek Fam also reached in from ruins. They put themselves, jumped on in.
Those are two teams you do not want to be sandwiched between.
No. Lamborghini, we saw what they did on Miramar. Will they be able to clutch it up against Falcons who just drive on by?
Nice little swing by right there. I like it. I respect it. Falcons. Looking strong. Falcons, man. This team's also been struggling a lot. Looks like they're playing a bit more loose, a bit more confident, and it's working out for now as they pick up those 2 elimination points so far. Next zone shifts. It does come off of the North Island. I think everyone on the north were ready for this shift, so let's see what their plan is. 4 a.m. meanwhile swinging in from the western side. 4 a.m. started all the way on the northeast, so they did a full complete wraparound. Working out so far, but can they get further? Whew.
Oh,
What a
okay.
nice shot with the silencer. As well. That QBU with the silencer, oh, sounds so nice.